Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here with a video about basically the new trailer that was dropped today for Pokemon Sword and Shield. I don't think anybody expected a trailer or some new news today, but I'll be talking about it. I'll be on the site. I've seen the trailer, but I kind of just wanted to go to the site because the site has, it's really convenient. It says like new and everything, and I can just scroll through and have more information than what the trailer would actually have. So obviously this will be improv based on what I see, and I'll give you guys my competitive opinion, as well as maybe I might say something like, oh, it has claws, let's give it tough claws and 100% accurate focus blast with an ability no guard or something, right? So there might be a little mixture of both. Obviously I would love for you guys to let me know your opinions as well on the new Pokemon, as well as Gigantamaxing, which was confirmed. And of course, if you guys would like to pick up my Drop a Draco merch, that is available until July 21st. The link is down below. You guys have been killing it with the support. Not only do I have hoodies and shirts and whatnot for guys and girls, and it does ship worldwide, but we do have socks available too due to popular demand. You guys have been killing with the support on that. Over 600 sold. That's amazing. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the new Pokemon. So you guys can see them right here, or you saw them in the thumbnail. They are confirmed. They're revealed, officially revealed. So I'm going to start with my favorite one. And out of the, well, is this my favorite one? I feel like it is my favorite one. Now, Duraludon, I probably butchered that name, but it is a steel dragon. And my favorite thing about this is, and I actually made a video with Shofu on his channel, and Zeph was there too, but we wanted more typings that were legendary exclusive. I wanted them to be more widely distributed. So I'm really happy that we do have a new steel dragon. Before it was just Dialga, which obviously we got in Gen 4, and that's a legendary, that's an Uber. So 4 generations later, we are finally getting another steel dragon. I absolutely love that typing, especially I think that typing is even better now in a meta game where fairy types do exist, because it's giving a dragon type stab in a way of dealing with them. So in a competitive mindset, I feel like this is going to be really solid. Now it does look like a special attacker. We did see it in the trailer, and I don't want to put parts of the trailer because I know they'll claim it, but we did see it going down on all fours and like firing off a beam, which I think is pretty cool. Its design kind of reminds me a little bit of Gigalith, but also a little bit of what's the anime, Attack on Titan, where the gear that they use kind of looks like that type of thing that they use, right, for the swords, and they sheath them and whatnot. But I love the fact that it is a special attacker. I think that works really well with the fact that it has kind of abilities, because it has light metal and heavy metal. Now, light metal, obviously that's going to be good for moves like low kick. They'll be doing less, which is super effective against that. The cool thing about it being steel dragon is it only has 2 weaknesses in ground and fighting. So obviously low kick being, not as strong is really nice. Heavy metal would be better. I think they originally said this thing was 5 foot 61 inches instead of 11 inches. I think there's like a tweet on that, which was funny. But heavy metal would be better if it didn't weigh 88 pounds. if it weighed more than this, it would actually be a lot better. For those that are not in America and don't know what pounds, I believe that's like 40 kg for you guys. So heavy metal would double that to 80 kg, which is around 170 something pounds, which is not a lot, right? That's not a lot for heavy metal. That means its heavy slams are going to be doing nothing compared to the heavy slams from something like, Celesteela or in the lower tiered Mudsdale. So I don't think that's that great for it, but it did look like primarily a special attacker. So I'm cool with that. Draco Meteor, Flash Cannon. I'm thinking like it does look relatively slow. I also don't know what type of dragon this is. We'll actually read a little bit of the information right here, but as you see right here, it did go down, and that's Dragon Pulse, I believe. It also used Flash Cannon versus Tyranitar in a battle itself. We can actually do a little bit of digging right here too. At level 62, 172 HP. I might as well, just because this is going to be a really, it's an improv type of video, but 172 HP at level 62, so we can actually figure out or get something close. Base 90 with 0 IVs, 0 EVs, so maybe a little bit less than base 90, maybe like base 85. What was that, 172? So base 80? Base 81. Alright, so it's probably going to be somewhere between base 81 HP, maybe a little bit less, depending on if it's actually had, perfect IVs or max IVs and like that. But level 62, that's not too bad. I'm actually a lot better with base 80 than what we had with Alola, right, in Sun and Moon. They really love base 60 HP on everything. So I think that's okay with its typing. We don't know. It looks like it'll be a tank. And by that I mean it's going to be good offensively, because it also calls it a light but sturdy body of metal. The metal composing its body is incredibly durable, but also surprisingly light. Move quite quickly in spite of its appearance. Its body is weak to corrosion, however, and is known to rust easily. So that kind of like throws me off, right? Because it says it can move quite quickly despite its appearance. Now, I don't take that at face value because of the fact that they also said Vikavolt is incredibly fast and what is it, base 43 speed. So I don't know about that, but honestly, a dragon would Steel Dragon, and I think anything over like the Breloom speed tier, which is, if I'm not mistaken, base 60, anything over 262 speed I think would be very useful for this, because I'm just thinking about our metagame in itself, right? But you're going to be outspeeding most fairy types. Tapu Fini doesn't typically run max speed. If they do run speed, it's usually to outspeed Magearna, which is around 252, the actual number, right? Maybe a little bit more for modest Heatran. But that'd be pretty cool. I would love if it actually had a little bit more speed than Heatran and then had a way of dealing with it. Because it is a dragon, I'm pretty sure Earth Power or Earthquake will be in its arsenal. I think that's going to be 100%. But like I said, it does look like primarily a special attacker, and I think that makes more use of its abilities than, you know, I don't think we'll be using Heavy Slam on this Pokemon at all. It's a light Pokemon. It's generally a light Pokemon. But overall, this was my favorite, mainly because I got what I wanted. And I hope we see more. I hope we continue to see more of this. They're distributing these typings, these type combinations that we didn't have. Only that were just exclusive to legendary Pokemon. But next up, let's get Yamper out of the way because I didn't make a video on Yamper even though it was revealed before. But I guess they officially revealed it. I'm actually surprised that they didn't reveal Impidimp in this one officially. But I'll just talk about Yamper. But it's an electric type Pokemon. It's a Corgi. And it gets Ball Fetch, which I think is a really fun ability. Ball Fetch is a new ability introduced in these titles, and it will come into play when you throw a Pokeball at a wild Pokemon but fail to catch it. As long as Yamper isn't holding an item, it will fetch the first Pokeball that failed to catch a Pokemon, regardless of what type of Pokeball it is. So that's really cool. I think that could be really fun. That's a nice in-game ability. It's what I expect out of a dog, right? To fetch. It's what I expect out of it. But it's electric type, and we did see some cool moves in its move pool. We did see Play Rough as one of its moves. And overall, I don't think it is that bulky, if I'm not mistaken, but I could see it evolving into something. Electric Fairy would be nice. We obviously have that on Tapu Koko, right? We have Electric Fairy on Tapu Koko. So again, distributing that legendary, or even Tapu's case, whatever they're considered, having more of that typing around would be fantastic. So I love that typing offensively. I love Fairy Electric because for the most part, Steel types are what check Fairy types, right? And unless they're Steel Ground, electric moves will be hitting it decently hard. So I do like this. I love its, its cute little design. I think it has a heart on its butt too, which is really, nice for a little dog, and it crackles as it runs. So I don't think it'll be that great of a competitive Pokemon. However, I mean, the dog Pokemon that you see initially are not always terrible. Take Stoutland, for instance. I think Stoutland is one that's about average at best, or at least worse. I think it's average. 3 great abilities, right? Intimidate, Scrappy, and Sand Rush, and they're all great. And I'm thinking also in terms of draft leagues, right? That mon can do what it wants. It also has access to Thunder Wave, which this thing will have access to as well. And obviously this is like the first evolution. It's going to evolve. It's going to evolve. We're not going to have just this random baby thing. So I'm hoping for Electric Fairy, especially because we did see Play Rough in its arsenal, but that's not really saying much because we saw Play Rough in Stoutland's arsenal. Obviously we have Play Rough in Mighty Anna's arsenal as well. But in the same time, Stoutland's a normal type, so they have ridiculous movesets anyway. And I'm hoping that this means Electric Fairy, because I would love, like I said, to have that. That'd be great for that. But as far as competitive goes, don't think it's going to be doing much. It's going to be cute in-game, though. That's about that. Now let's talk about Rolycoly. I love the name on this thing. Rolycoly reminds me of Roly-Poly. Now it has 2 abilities. Steam Engine, which is a new ability, and we'll actually read it right now. Steam Engine is a new ability introduced in these titles. A Pokemon with this ability will get a speed stat boost if he hits with a fire or water attack move during battle. Now, it says speed drastically, which means that this Pokemon gets +3 speed. It gets +3 speed if it's hit with a fire or water type attack. Now, this is really good because it's a rock type. It's a pure rock type. So it's obviously going to evolve. I don't think this is going to be its final thing. This is like your basic Pokemon. But who cares about heat proof? That's whatever. But I love this because if I get hit with, let's say Heatran's in the tier, right? And it hits me with a Magnet Storm, I get +3 speed for getting hit by that. And it's a rock type. Rock types decently usually have, you know, the standard rock type move pool of Edgequake, right? So Stone Edge, Earthquake, and that's typically all you need, man. You can run Heavy Slam, I guess, so this thing isn't that heavy in itself at all. Obviously, Explosion is typically something, but the fact that you can use this thing as a sweeper is pretty cool. Now, it did look like Rolycoly took damage right here from Scorbunny, right? So I'm assuming Scorbunny went for Ember, and it took damage. So it's going to be probably the water compaction treatment where you actually have to take hits to get your boost. And you know, I've said it a million times and I'll say it again, but what you guys didn't know water compaction does is when you get hit with a water type attack, you get +2 defense for it. But Palisand gets it. Would be a great ability if it actually gave you an immunity to it too. But it did look like Rolycoly took damage right here, right? It looked like Rolycoly took damage. So I don't know in terms of being a rock type how useful it will be for water type attacks, especially because most water type attacks we see are scalds. So not only do you have to worry about being knocked out if it doesn't have good special defense or HP, but you also have to worry about being burnt when it comes to that. So I'm not the biggest fan of that. Also, the reason I say I don't think heat proof is that great is because, I mean, it's already resistant to fire. But maybe for, if I'm not mistaken, is heat proof also for ice? No, that's stick fat. What am I thinking? What am I thinking of? Heat proof just means, it's literally bronze ability, right? It just means that it just has fire attack and burn. Okay, yeah. So I don't think that'll matter too much. I think everybody will use Steam Engine on this thing. But I think it could be pretty niche for, again, those fire type attacks coming out. And, you know, there are some fire type Pokemon that are really good. Obviously the Zards, and you being a rock type, you do resist Flarelets and whatnot. And, you know, Heatran and Victini and Blacephalon that come to mind. Now, obviously, all those might not be in the next game. Who knows? But even if this thing ends up being a lower tier Pokemon, I think that ability has a lot of value, especially even as like a anti-lead or suicide lead type thing, right? Think of Kabutops in lower tiers, or yeah, I think Kabutops is the one that comes to mind. You guys know how it has weak armor, right? Well, typically, you know, it might be like a Focus Sash type of lead where you get up Stealth Rock and then you get your weak armor, so you're faster than whatever's trying to beat you, and you can Rapid Spin their hazards and whatnot. So I think that would be pretty cool for this. I mean, Rolycoly, it's Cole that rolls, so yeah. I haven't like hated the design yet from Sword and Shield, so I'm pretty happy about that. But last but not least, I don't know how you see this, Alcremie, I don't know what it is, but we got our typical fairy type that looks like something you want to eat. You know, think Slurpuff, think I was gonna say Cottony. I mean, you could eat cotton, I guess. I mean, if you're weird, maybe people do eat cotton. Maybe I'm just ignorant. But the other one, the one that evolves into the one that got banned from Little Cup because it had Unburden. Why is its name slipping my mind? But it's Cotton Candy, right? It's Cotton Candy. What is it called? I'm getting pissed off that Swirlix, that's what it is, right? If I'm not mistaken. Cotton Candy Pokemon. It's Swirlix. Yes, Swirlix. Okay, cool. So you know we got our typical candy-like Pokemon. Looks great. Looks delicious, honestly. I think absolutely. Sweet Veil, an all-right ability. If I'm not mistaken, that's Sleep. That prevents you from being put to sleep. So, let me just make sure I'm right on that. But prevents Pokemon's allies from being put to sleep. Yes. Okay, awesome. So, yeah. So that's pretty cool. Fairy type without the ability to go to sleep. Not that that's that useful. Moves like Hypnosis are not used, obviously. And from there, Spore. Like, this fairy type is not going to be beating something like an Amoonguss anyway. But, I mean, sleep is a little bit more rare due to terrains and whatnot now anyway. But, I like... It's obviously going to be maybe the... I'm thinking it's the baby form of whatever it can evolve into. But it could be the evolution of something as well. Because, like, it looks like a mid-level or even a final level type of thing. Maybe it evolves from, like, a little cone with, like, ice cream or cream in it type of thing. But, one thing I did want to note that maybe the Cole will evolve into like a locomotive type Pokemon. But as far as fairy types go, I don't have enough information about this thing. Being fairy type, being pure fairy isn't bad at all, right? Being pure fairy is actually really nice, especially if you have some coverage with that. But defensive utility wise, fantastic. You know, you have Pokemon like Clefable. Obviously, this doesn't look like it'll be the next Clefable, but I could be wrong. Clefable doesn't even look like it'll be the next Clefable. Have you seen Clefable's stats? It doesn't look good, but it is. So, being pure fairy type, its cream has a soothing effect. So, I'm assuming it'll have something like Aromatherapy, Heal Bell, which is definitely not unique to this Pokemon. You have Comfy that has that, being pure fairy can also do that. This cream is pretty powerful, and any Pokemon that tries to eat the cream will rapidly lose the will to battle. Hopefully it has some sort of signature type move. Looks like it has a decent HP stat, level 50, 134. Just want to see what that is. Maybe not the best, huh? What, 75? Base 75? 175, no. No, why is the one... Ugh. Okay, I'm getting pissed off that that one keeps going in front, but... You know what? Forget that. You take that one. You can take that. You got that. You got this, bro. You got this. Oh, 50. HP works differently. Forget this, man. Forget about figuring it out. Whatever. It does. It looks decently bulky. Base 70s or whatever. But obviously, the Dynamaxing also doubles its HP stats a level 50. This is odd, though. That's actually really weird. Why is this 134, but this one is... Or is it 1.5 times the HP stat? I'm 100% confused. I'm not. I can't really say much about this Pokemon because being pure Fairy type, you guys already know Fairy types are good. That's just it. Fairy types are typically good. It has Cleric support, which is something it will more than likely have. Can't be put to sleep. Maybe. Maybe it'll have access to Wish as well. It could be the next Aromatisse type of thing. Aromatisse is pretty trash, but it could be a better Aromatisse like that. Don't really have an opinion on this Pokemon. However, there are a few more things that I wanted to talk about in terms of Sword and Shield. So, Gigantamaxing changed the game in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Don't want to click on that too much, but let's read this a little bit. While Dynamaxing seems to be a phenomenon common to the Pokemon from Galar, it's been discovered that there's a special phenomenon known as Gigantamaxing 2. Only certain species of Pokemon can Gigantamax. Now, before we actually keep going, I did want to say there was a leak that was talking about this, and we did see some Pokemon that did have access to Gigantamax in the leak. I didn't make videos on it. I did talk a little bit with other people. I was on other videos about it, but I didn't make my own videos about it too. But even amongst the species, only rare specimens will be able to Gigantamax. The majority will keep their usual appearance when they Dynamax. Yes, so I know that when you Gigantamax, your appearance also changes from the Pokemon. Gigantamax Pokemon become bigger, and just like normal Dynamaxing, Gigantamaxing boosts the power of the Pokemon. It also allows each Gigantamax Pokemon to use a unique move known as G-Max move. Each G-Max move is particular to a specific species of Gigantamax Pokemon, and regular Dynamax Pokemon can't use G-Max moves at all. Now, they did show Dreadnought, and they showed this is its form when it Gigantamaxes, so it looks a little bit more defensive, withdrawing into its shell type of thing. And obviously they have Korver Knight, but there are some special members of the species that can Gigantamax. Interesting that they said there's some special members of this species. Like how they said regular can Dynamax, but there are some special members. I don't know, like maybe there'll be a unique type of Korver Knight that you can only get in like raid battles or anything like that going on. But let's talk about Dreadnought real quick. Now, this one was really unique because Dreadnought's ability, basically Max Stone Surge, gives it Stealth Rock, which is really cool. So not only does it get to attack, doesn't just deal damage to the opponent, it will scatter sharp rocks around the opponent and cause Pokemon entering the battlefield to take damage. So it actually gets Stealth Rock plus an attack. So that's really unique. That's pretty cool. We have seen moves like Z Stealth Rock before, and all that did was it raises your defense +1 plus set up Stealth Rock. But this is actually an offensive version of it. So that's pretty cool in itself. We can look at Korver Knight real quick just to see what it does. It did not show me, so I'm going to click on what the hell is going on outside. We'll click on Gigantamax Korver Knight. Love its design. I already love Korver Knight's design. I like this too. It actually gives me that Veltal vibe, which obviously this is Flying Steel, so it doesn't have Dark Flying. But G-Max Wind Range. Flying type moves used by Gigantamax Korver Knight will change to G-Max Wind Rage. G-Max Wind Rage deals damage to an opponent, but that's not all. It will also remove any effects of moves like Reflect, Light Screen, Spikes, and Electric Terrain. So it gets an attack that's also a defog. That is sick. I love that. A lot of times, and that's something too because I'm assuming this can't be stopped by a taunt. It's literally an attacking move. So that's really cool. An attack that is also a defog. Very much love that competitive viability in that being able to not only do damage, bypass taunt, but also get rid of hazards as well. We don't know too much about Korver Knight's stats. Some have been speculated and talked about, looked alright. But an attack that can defog, I mean, if you're a competitive player, you already know the viability in that. And last but not least, it's going to be a special Korver Knight, which is interesting too. What is that? That's really interesting. So I'm assuming they're going to be like raids that you can get it. And the Creamon, let's talk a little bit about this one too. Super high calorie missiles. Hold up, I didn't read this before. Alcremie will launch high-calorie cream missiles around itself to attack its opponent. Any Pokemon that touches cream will be filled with energy and euphoria, but at the same time will fall into a state of complete confusion. That's so cool. I just read what a Gmax finale does, but fairy type moves used by Gigantamax, Alcremie. I'm sorry if I'm like butchering its name. My bad, guys. How is it pronounced? I know somebody's gonna tell me in the comments. They always do. But it will heal all Pokemon on its side while dealing damage to an opponent. Now that is really cool. Now I don't know if when it says heal all Pokemon, it's an aromatherapy type move, so it's like heal bell while also doing damage, or it actually heals their HP. I'm assuming it's not gonna. I think that'd be broken if it heals all my Pokemon. Now, when it says on my side, I don't know if it means in my Pokeballs or this is a doubles battle. It doesn't look like it's a double. I haven't seen any double. We haven't seen any doubles at that, which is interesting. I wonder what that means for VGC. Maybe VGC would be singles. Who knows? That's a reach, right? But I wanted to put that out there. But I'm assuming when it says heal all Pokemon, it's referring to like an aromatherapy, a cleric type thing. It definitely goes along with it. But an attack that's also a cleric. We haven't seen things like that since Eevee, right? Eevee and Let's Go. Eevee attacks you and also provides cleric support. So, really cool that we're having more. I love the utility of Gigantamaxing. I don't really understand it too much, like what actually happens to the Pokemon. Ideally, oh no, do not play, do not do that snap. No, snap, there goes my ads. there goes any money I make off this video. But I'm really liking that, the fact that, you know, we have one for Stealth Rock, we have one for Defog, and we have one for Heal Bell. So I'm assuming we'll also get status ones that actually 100% status and do things like that too, just following that trend. A few other things I want to talk about, that we do have some version exclusives, which is typical to most versions. Sword, you get Zweilous, and, well, it's not Zweilous, this is Dino, but I'm thinking of its evolution, and Jangmo-O, and then Shield, you get Larvitar and Goomy. I'm getting Sword. I'll probably get both, because I always get both, but I'm definitely getting Sword. Like, that's the one I want to play with, because I want to play with the legendary from Sword. Now, the good thing is, though, if you do actually... Oh, another cool thing is there are actually version-exclusive gym leaders, which I think is so cool. In Sword, you fight this fighting-type gym leader, and she seems to be having, like, Scorbunny's colors. And in Shield, you fight... And this is really cool. I think this is one of the better designs we've ever had for a gym leader. But you fight the ghost-type gym leader. So I really like that there are version-exclusive gym leaders. Definitely makes it have a different feel instead of... I always hated version-exclusives. I talked about it before. But, you know, as a kid, when I was young, didn't have really many people I can trade with anyway. It's not like I could bring my, you know, Game Boy to school and trade. No, if I brought my Game Boy to school, it'd be taken away. And then, you know, I lived in the Bronx. My school was in Manhattan. And a lot of my friends are far away. So, thankfully, Wi-Fi, you know, changed that. And I can actually trade with people. But I always hated version exclusives. But I do like that. I do love this. I think this is very unique. I don't think they've done anything like this before. And I'm really happy about that. Like, I think that's a plus for Pokemon there. I also know that if you get the bundle, you also get access to Dynamat Crystals, and basically they give you codes, and that you can face Dynamax Larvitar and Dynamax Jangmo-O. And basically, it doesn't matter, like, you know how Larvitar is exclusive to Pokemon Shield. It doesn't matter if you have this code, it'll activate in a raid battle or whatever, a max raid battle, and you'll actually be able to get them regardless of which version you have. So, I guess that's alright. The only thing I don't like about this, though, is it's not cheaper than buying both of them. It's the same price, if not more expensive. So, I think that's really lame for it, personally. Do I want to talk about anything else? Like, there are a few more things that they showed today, but... Download by January 15, 2020 to get 12 quick balls. Thank you so much. We talked about gym leaders, pre-order, whatever. We already know about the champion. Try to be the next champion. We already know that. I guess we'll talk about this. Let's see. Dude, Rose looks like an evil bad guy. I'm gonna be real. First off, his name is Rose. Secondly, look at his outfit, man. This outfit, that almost looked like my wedding outfit. I'll be real. This outfit is I love the shoes. I would get like red bottoms personally, but you know, I actually don't have red bottoms. That's something I want to get eventually, but he looks evil. He straight up looks evil. Look at his hairdo. Look at this. Look at everything. He looks straight up evil. And if he's running it, and if the champion's actually evil, which is something like that people are speculating or saying, no spoilers, because that's literally what I'm just seeing. Like, people are saying, oh, the champion might be evil. He looks evil too. Like, they're definitely in, you know, was gonna say Cahoots, but I hate that. Why did I think of Cahoots? I'm not like Dr. Seuss. But implementing gym battles featuring the Dynamax. He also first endorsed Leon for the gym challenge. Seems he's quite the eye for talent. I don't know, man. And is Rose's secretary, known for her calm and collected personality. She also serves as the vice president of Rose's company, is in fact largely in charge of the day-to-day running of the company. She also looks kind of evil, I'm gonna be real. She looks evil and bored. Like her design though, and I'm a big fan of his design. Like, there's not a lot of like guy designs in this game that I actually like very much. I do like the champion. I think some things are a little bit like off in terms of what he's wearing, but I do like it. But yeah, for the most part, pretty excited about the Pokemon. I think that the Duraludon has a lot of potential. I think that the Gigantamaxing is really cool. Give us some utility as well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, obviously. Leave them down below. Feel free to check out my Drop a Draco merch as well. That's available till July 20th. You can pick up that. You can pick up socks. Ships worldwide. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.